Our 12-year-old daughter is very angry and reactive.
You have lost your phone today for shoving by me.
Swear to God!
She lacks the willingness to follow rules and hates being checked in on.
Her world, everything revolves around her. Everything is fine until that switch gets flipped. Once that happens, things devolve to chaos.
What are you doing?
Give me my phone, you idiot! Don't punch me.
When she's angry, she can't control her impulses and she will attack.
Why do you punch every time I move?
Because you keep hitting him.
Because you keep hitting me and taking my glasses off.
Don't start again.
If I walk into her bedroom, she will slam the door on me.
Let me close the door in your face.
I would be afraid that if very angry, she could come into our room and do something to us while sleeping.
One time we turned off the internet as a punishment. She took my computer, my iPad, Jennifer's phone. I didn't react at all. She came in our room and trashed our bedroom right in front of me. That evening, my hands were visibly scratched.
Try to do more of that?
David is more lenient with his parenting style. I'm a little bit more of what I call the bad cop. I hold my foot down.
And if you do not bring it down to me, then you are going to lose it longer.
If I don't bring it down to you, you won't get it. I'll just keep it forever.
I found that things are better for everyone if I act instead of react.
Don't.
Our marriage has been affected with parenting our daughter. At the end of the day, we go to bed numb. I'm terrified because I don't know what to hope for.
Okay, obviously this can't go on, right? Why is she, in your opinion, the way she is? What's your theory?
I don't know why she is the way she is. That's the most confusing part for me. I really can't figure out why she's so upset. I mean, I look at her as living a very privileged life.
Okay. How about you? Do you have a theory?
My diagnosis is that she's an egomaniac with an inferiority complex.
Okay. So you think this is psychological?
I don't know the answer to that. It seems the way
Well,
that
you
she's
say you
able...
think she's an egomaniac that's insecure.
Well, that's what it seems like, a fear of failure, and that's certainly psychological, but where that comes from, Dr. Phil, I don't know. And that's what concerns me.
Yeah. By the way, I don't expect you to know. I mean, this is a complex situation. It seems to be layered. It's certainly over y'all's pay grade. It's something that's probably going to be difficult to figure out, but I've observed some things that I want to take a quick look at. And one of these is an interaction between you and your daughter. Let's take a look at this.
What in the world are you doing?
Okay, now you guys are in a physical struggle here.
You break the screen, you're paying for it.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm sleeping.
Okay, now at this point, you're restraining her. Now she's trying to get, okay, let's stop this for just a second here. She's grabbing on here like she's falling off of a building. You have your arm around her neck and upper torso here. She's got her leg inside like she's trying to, you know, if you just looked at this and you knew nothing else, you just looked at this, how would you interpret this?
Terrifying. I mean, I would say that that's an abusive family situation. Nothing I've ever dreamed that our family would be.
Yeah, but when you...
That still might be kidnapping?
You've got your arm around her neck, she's clawing at the door, she's got her neck in, look at her now. It's like, oh my God, you would think she's being killed. Now, we know the context. I've listened to this and watched it probably 12, 15 times, and I know that's not the case. You never lose your temper. She really doesn't lose her temper. At this point, it's a struggle. Do you understand how dangerous this is?
Yes.
In what regards dangerous? Like
Well,
physically?
two ways. Number one, you have no idea how many situations I've been in where in this kind of circumstance, somebody accidentally gets hurt.
Okay.
I mean, they slip and fall and they hit their temple against the corner of a table,
Right.
or they break an arm or a collarbone. and Child Protective Services is called, and your ass is in jail.
Yes, that's what I see right there.
Yeah, if this was taken out of context, you could be in jail for assaulting your child, which if you listen to the entire tape, that's clearly not what's happening. And let me be very clear, that's not what's happening here. This is containment and restraint, not aggression. The second danger is the biggest problem you have in this entire scenario. I'm going to tell you what it is right after the break.
At the beginning of the stay-at-home orders for COVID-19, it had a big effect on my daughter. School from home and us making sure that she was doing it didn't sit well with her.
Let's look at these lessons. Which ones have you turned in? I'll tell her that you've turned them in.
Can you show us what you've turned in? Here's a list of everything that you're missing.
Not doing this on the weekend!
We went for a walk at sunset. She wanted to stay longer. As I was telling her, I didn't feel safe because a lot of people were coming around us and not wearing their masks. She had mumbled something kind of under her breath and got so upset, she told me that I set her off by opening my mouth.
The biggest danger that I see in this whole thing is you are allowing a 12-year-old aggressive child to set the tone. A 12-year-old child is out-thinking two intelligent, mature adults to the point that we got the tail wagging the dog here. She's calling the tune to this whole thing. That's what you're saying.
She's calling the tune. She wants to run the household, and if we try to take that power back from her, she'll start wagging the rest of us, whatever that may mean. You know, it's.
I can't stand that you put it that way, but it seems certainly what's happening.
Is there any other way to put it?
So I
and
feel.
if you don't think that's true, I can play that tape for you. Get it here, I'll play this one. Let's take a look at this one.
What are you trying to do?
I'm not doing anything.
Ow. Stop.
No,
What are you trying to prove?
I'm not proving anything.
Okay, you're right. What are you trying to prove?
Okay, what is a win here?
I guess I don't know the answer to that. It seems to me
No,
that...
you don't, because there is no win here.
There is no win. I don't.
that what we've seen in the experience is this situation happens, and then there's separation for 1 minute, 5 minutes, one night, whatever it might be, and then it disappears for her. And of course, it's more exactly what you're saying, but it's me trying to end it, and clearly.
But tell me what's the win here. How does this turn out where it's a win for you or for her? What's the win? A win is if you advance the dialogue, you advance the relationship,
Right.
you determine to move to a higher level, you've done something that eliminates a problem, you've solved a problem, you've negotiated a middle ground. What is tell me what the win is here.
There's
The win is separation, just, minimal destruction on what we can right now. I mean, it's crazy because you see what's happening there,
That's
right?
minimal?
That's minimal. Because,
That right there is minimal.
Well,
we're trying to end that, right? I don't know
trying
the
to
answer.
stop the fighting,
But there-
trying to hold her back or trying to stop
But
getting hit.
that is fighting.
That's fighting.
That is fighting. I could
That's
go.
why we're here. We don't know what we're doing right now.
No, you don't. Take a look at this one. Tell me what the win is here. This is David and Jennifer. This is at the door. You're fighting over a door to get through a door. Play the tape. Just play the tape.
A hammer and a flathead screwdriver so I can take this door off.
Let's not do that right now.
Totally
We can do that
legitimate.
later.
Take the door off. Get it.
Hard on it. She's
Totally
afraid.
legitimate.
Thinks that
But
she's stopping me. Open the door, please.
I think just leave it.
Oh, just leave it, Daddy. Get out. Go on.
Look at you agreeing with me.
That's so nice.
okay, freeze it. Seriously? This is what you call parenting?
Not my shining moment.
It's not what you're doing, it's what you're not doing. You're not hurting anybody there. It's just a waste of time. She has an intelligent, grown man in a tug of war at the door.
I can't respond to that. Yes, that's funny from this perspective.
It's not funny.
What? No, it's
It
ridiculous. Funny is what you mean.
Yes, of course.
It's ridiculous is what makes it. It's absurdly funny, in that there's no sense to it whatsoever. Can we agree that she's setting the tone here?
Yes.
Yes.
Because you're not picking this, right? You're not picking all this violence and yelling and screaming and pushing and shoving.
Picking it? No.
Are you picking it? Is this what you two want?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so if you're not picking it and there's only 3 of you there, who is?
Yeah, she's picking it. I really do feel my daughter can be a bully. In 5th grade, I had a father of a student in her class call me and tell me that she had regularly been teasing his son and trying to get other people to laugh at him and pull chairs from him and make him feel bad.
My daughter's aggression towards Jennifer and I, it terrifies the dogs. They run and hide.
She's gonna calm down. It's gonna be all right. No, I won't.
When you think about it, why should a dog be afraid of a 12-year-old child?
Now, by her own admission, she admits that she hates rules. Most kids that age don't love rules. And she claims to have even taught her parents that it's better to have no rules at all. You say he doesn't follow the rules either, because you try to get him to do things consistently, he doesn't do them, right?
Both of them. I'm getting him to check in on her, because unfortunately, my daughter and I have a very abrasive, relationship together, and she'll listen to him a little bit more. So sometimes I try to be the one pulling the strings, but she's still doing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me just ask you just a little check-in here. Have I said anything so far that has enlightened either one of you?
It has enlightened us?
Yeah.
No.
Too many words, yes.
So you say too many words, and you say, no, you haven't learned anything yet since you got here. When I say that you're giving up control to your daughter and letting her set the tone, that doesn't mean anything to you?
It really doesn't. I mean, I'm well aware that that's what's going on.
But I'm a little dumbfounded that in watching the dynamic of your exchanges here, and I've got them for YouTube, taking her phone away, doing this, doing that, that y'all are like, no, I don't see it, I don't get it. I'm absolutely dumbfounded.
No, I completely see that she's in control of what's going on.
Is it possible that you are trying to get her to meet you where you are and see the world through your eyes?
Very possible.
With your list and your need
Yes.
to have everything organized, rather than making an attempt to meet her where she is and see the world through her eyes? Because here's the question. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy?
I want to be happy.
Because you act like you want to be right.
That's how I'm acting.
You want to be right. It's like there's a right way to do this and there's a wrong way to do it.
And
you
here's
need
my
to shape
right way.
up, and she needs to shape up, and I got a list here, and you need to follow it, and when you do, I'll be happy, and until you do, I won't. So by God, that's how it's going to be.
Kind of. I mean, my lists aren't anything huge.
To you.
To me, yes. I mean, and that's where I need help, because as a 12-year-old, my lists are like, brush your teeth before you go to school, get yourself ready. When you're done with your homework, let me see.
Have you ever thought about trying a different approach?
I don't know what approaches to use. I feel like I've tried so many different types of
But
approaches.
have you?
I guess not.
No, I'm asking, have you?
I don't know.
Because
I mean, it seems like lists have been my way to go. You know, I try to correct it. I try to let things go. I try to speak to her. I just don't know what to do. I really feel it's me. She's as sweet as could be. Her teachers, when you meet her, she'll be great. So I clearly feel that I am running this. You know, like I am the one, I want nothing more in this life than to have a great relationship with my daughter, and I'm the one driving it off the course. She's the one who can't stand to see me or talk to me.
So it seems to be situation specific.
Well, that's where maybe there is some chemical issue. Yes, it's situation specific only around her mother and I. But I feel that if she's away from us for any length of time, school or with a friend, she bottles it all up, and then when she gets home, we must pay.
She rages with you.
I definitely feel like I'm her trigger.
My parents are usually angry at me for a reason that they are unaware of. They'll take my phone.
Give me my phone!
Well, you lost your phone.
I'll ask them why, and they will not answer because they don't really know why. It's confusing, and I don't know what to do. I do get along with my dad better than my mom.
Get out of my way!
I think that my dad took more parenting lessons than my mom. When my mom's angry, she will yell at me, and when my mom's not angry, she's nice, and I'm not scared of her. When they give me rules, I try to not be as good so that they can realize that the rules are not helping and they're making things worse.
Go to your room.
Don't touch me.
Go to your room. Go that way.
No.
And then when they get rid of the rules, I try to act better, like really good, so that they keep it without the rules. I do think I manipulate my parents. I have hit my mom and dad. I feel so bad afterwards because I usually hit them pretty hard. I feel like I can't control myself, and if I get too angry, I will hit them. I think life would be better if we could all get along. I do think I can do better to make sure we're on the same page.
Well, I have a question for you. You and your parents are not getting along well, right?
Yes.
A lot of conflict, right? What do you want? How do you want things to be?
I would want my mom to not yell at me. I would want less fighting. I don't want the yelling and fighting and screaming.
You do a lot of yelling and fighting and screaming.
I do, because they start the fight. They will tell me to do things, and they'll hold my phone up or something so I can't reach it or something like that.
You mean like this?
Yeah, like that. And I'll try to pull his arm down so I can get it, and then that's what starts the fight.
Oh, you think that we just grab your phone and hold it up and then the fight starts? Like it's like the
No, I'll be
checkered
yelling
flag.
or something first, but then you'll do that.
He's holding it up because now the item has been removed from you. So it's
You're not even there.
automatically
You're in your
starting-
office working. You're not paying attention. You're out of it. You don't care at all.
I don't care at all.
No.
I care so
Kimmel.
much about you
Yeah?
and what we have going on.
Well, in this video, Jennifer punishes her for shoving her. Take a look.
You have lost your phone today for shoving by me.
Word to God!
And if you do not bring it down to me, then you are going to lose it longer.
If I don't bring it down to you, you won't get it. I'll just keep it forever.
That could be an approach that you take. It's not going to work great for you.
Oh my God, I literally barely accidentally bumped into you. And then you're taking, oh my God.
The only one screaming there was you. You said, I hate all the screaming and yelling. Why do you scream and yell there instead of have a conversation? Reason, negotiate, take any approach other than that one, since that one doesn't work for you.
I don't know. That video is from a very long time ago. I can barely remember.
That
honestly,
video was during
My mom's
quarantine.
birthday. Didn't you see the happy birthday sign?
That wasn't on
That
her
was right
birthday.
there.
Yes.
And the beginning of the
You
video
leave
is
that
just us
birthday
asking.
sign up for like months.
Okay, so it was within a month of April.
Oh, okay.
So why do you say your mother doesn't care?
Usually if there's a bigger fight, she's in the office and out of it. She'll not interact.
You don't want yelling and screaming, so what else do you want?
I want my mom to get off of my back. She tells me to do 1,000 things, and when I do something that they like, they pass by that and go to like something else.
So they don't pay a lot of attention to the good things and spend a whole lot of attention on the bad things. But do you question whether they love you? Do you question whether they want the best for you? What do you think?
I do question that sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Baby, I love you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Sad to hear that too. I haven't heard that really before like that.
Why do you think that?
They'll just like not pay attention to the good things that I do.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time your mom asked you to just go somewhere and do something for fun?
I can't remember.
If she said, you know, let's go feed the ducks, or just you and I go somewhere and do something.
I would do it.
Well, I think that your mom asked you a couple times last week to go to the beach.
No,
You
he
should
didn't.
Go for a walk in the park. You told me you were in your pajamas. You weren't dressed. You didn't want to go out. Maybe the next day.
Because you asked me at like 8 in the morning.
We don't have to go right at that moment. We have time. We could just go to every single beach. I want to do things with you. I want to go places.
You guys are astoundingly tone deaf. Well, I have someone that's going to join us for a minute that has something to say that I believe will be helpful. We'll take just a few minutes to do that right after the break.
My daughter was 6. She was diagnosed with ADHD.
At one point, the pediatrician said she has oppositional defiant disorder, but she hasn't been officially diagnosed with ODD.
I struggle with a diagnosis of anything because we hear from everybody that she's the perfect child if Jennifer and I aren't around.
During my second trimester, my daughter tested positive for Down syndrome. It was a false positive and everything was fine. It's a horrible thought for a parent to have, but I did feel like if maybe she had Down syndrome, she would be more loving as a child.
There's a few things that I know for sure. One is I'm not getting through to these people, not because they don't want to, just we haven't done that yet. But these are loving parents, and they're devoted parents, and just the very fact that they're here speaks volumes to that. They very much want this situation to improve, and I'm confident that it is going to. This 12-year-old daughter is doing what she's kind of defaulted to and knows to do, but she can do better. And I want to introduce someone else. This is 24-year-old Kaymen, who says she really gets Jennifer and David's daughter and her situation. You were not real charming to get along with, right?
Absolutely not. No, on multiple occasions, you know, the things I was witnessing in the videos of, you know, things would escalate like that with me and mine, if not sometimes worse. You know, there was occasions where I would, you know, punch my dad in the face. At one point I broke his nose. You know, I would run away or hide kind of like she does in her room, but actually leave my home, and, you know, my parents would have to get the police involved.
Yeah, now I asked her to come here for more than one reason, obviously. One is she has some things that I think she needs to hear. The other is to give you two some hope that this can turn around, because what do you do now?
So I just recently, this past May, graduated from Pepperdine University in Malibu, and I've started my career. Moved 2,000 miles away, you know, still very close to my parents. You know, they taught me a lot. I've grown up a lot since, you know, my ruthless days as a troubled young lady. But you know, I've turned myself around, and I see a lot of potential in her, and I see a lot of myself in her as well. And she's not far off from being, you know, the child that you hoped that you would have, and you're not far off from feeling the love from your parents that I know that they feel for you. These two individuals are some of the only people that you have in your corner right now. They love you and will support you with whatever you want to do with your life, but you have to show that to them in return. Do you love them?
Yeah.
Do you think if maybe you stopped hitting them and stopped making it difficult for them to be around you, that it would maybe make your relationship with them a little easier?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you're at all to blame in every situation, but I will say that I've been in your shoes. And you know that hitting them and yelling at them and calling them names is not nice. You're sitting up here being a perfectly reasonable, respectful young lady. There's no reason to act that way towards the two people who love you the absolute most. If you can act respectful and nice and polite to strangers, you should absolutely be that way towards your parents.
They're more willing to listen than you're giving them credit for. You just haven't tried that yet. And I'm telling you that I've been talking to them before you got out here, saying that there needs to be a different tone here, right? Have
Correct.
I not said that?
Yes, he did.
And I'm saying this whole thing can calm down, but it takes both sides to calm down. If we were all out in the forest, the three of us and Kaymen and Robin, and we were all out in the forest and we were lost, would we huddle up and say, okay, who's the most confused, disoriented, inexperienced person here? And your daughter would raise her hand and say, okay, we're following you. That's what I mean when I say she's setting the tone. She has the fewest tools of anyone, the smallest vocabulary, the least amount of life experience, the least ability to predict the consequences of her actions because her brain won't even be through growing until she's 25. And the last part of the brain that grows is the neocortex, which predicts the consequences of your actions. That's foresight. That's organization and foresight. So at 12, you can't say, if I do A, that's going to lead to B, C, D, and E is a lower quality of life than if I did B1 or B2. It seems so obvious to you. You're saying, this is a simple list. My God, why can't you just do these 5 things?
That is it.
They make a lot of sense to you. You know why? Because your brain is through growing. You are a professional. You are organized. You are task-oriented. You can see, just click through the list and life is so much better.
That's exactly it. It's like it could be so simple, and I don't know how to...
Yeah, well, you know what? I've been a pilot for 50 years. I can take you and put you in the cockpit of a jet, and there's a bold-faced list of what you need to do there, and I say, okay, Jennifer, just do the list, and let's get this on the ground. And you'd be like, yeah, I don't know.
This isn't working for me.
She's venting frustration because she doesn't know how to comply with what she thinks is her mother's OCD list. And when I said you two are tone deaf, I said, if she asked you to go do something, would you do it? And she said, yes, I would. And I tried to think of some example that isn't pandemic shut down right now. So I said, feed the ducks or go for a walk. And she said, yes. And both of you immediately started criticizing her. Well, I asked you to go for a walk, and you didn't like that, okay, and you did this, and it was 8 o'clock in the morning, and you don't have to go there, and you don't. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She's saying, yes, I would do that, and both of your reaction was to find fault with what she was saying.
She wasn't being honest.
It doesn't. The content does not matter. It was the emotion of the moment of her being vulnerable enough to say, I feel like all they ever attend to is what I do wrong, not what I do right. And if you have to hide behind a bush for 6 hours in order to jump out and catch her doing something right, then you need to get behind the bush. It takes 1,000 attagirls to erase one, you're not good enough. And the message she's getting is you're not good enough. And I'll bet you not one time in your life have you ever said you're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough. I bet you've never said those words.
Never said that.
but
And
you've
that's what she's
conveyed
picking
it
it
to
up.
her through her filter 1,000 times a week. She's got the tone button. Let me get very concrete.
Thank you.
Maybe that's what it takes.
Stop
need.
physically fighting with your daughter.
Done.
If you don't take anything else from here, stop physically fighting with your daughter. Just refuse to do it. Go in another room. If she wants to beat on the door, look, everybody has a physical limit. She'll wear herself out. Do not fight with your daughter physically. Don't do it. Don't let her set the tone in that regard. And look, you want to win here, and to do that, you have to decide what is a win. You know, there's a great quote that I like to think about. We may not be able to prepare the future for our children, but we can at least prepare our children for the future. What I'm saying is, you've got to pick your battles.
I don't fight with my daughter. I mean, it escalates to what you see, and if to not fight means to
Not hold her accountable
have
for.
nothing, have her do nothing, have her not shower, not bathe, not get out of her pajamas, not go outside,
Not do her homework, not walk the dogs.
We've proven that that's great in summer vacation. That's how our life's been. But then we see her for 3 minutes a day outside of dinner, and while Jennifer and I might be able to breathe a sigh of relief, it's no way to have a family. I hope I'm missing something there. It's clear who's got the tone button and who's driving the bus. My question is, what do I do?
You need to start finding ways to build your daughter's self-esteem. You need to start giving her reasons to love herself more, because she doesn't feel that now. It isn't that she doesn't believe you love her, it's that she doesn't love herself.
I completely
And
agree.
because she doesn't love herself, she can't imagine that you would. I'm going to stop talking here in a minute, and I'm going to say goodbye, because we're getting into a yeah, but loop. No matter what I say, it's yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah,
It's
but.
not a yeah, but it's dead ends. I don't know how to mend that with her. It's not from lack of effort.
I see what you're saying, and
You're
you're
right.
absolutely right. No.
You're right. Well, what can I tell you? You're right.
No, you're right.
Eliminating physical confrontation will have a huge, huge impact. And calming down the rhetoric will have a huge, huge impact. I want to thank my guests today, even though I don't think they thank me at all. For more information about today's show, you can log on to drphil.com. Check me out, along with Robin, on our social media platforms, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And be sure and subscribe to Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret.
A violent daughter.
Get in my way!
Her parents.
You've got your arm around her neck, she's clawing at the door, you would think she's being killed.
And one big blow up.
Both of you immediately started criticizing her.
Next, Dr. Phil.